And we're live.
Yo, 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 what's up, people? It is Friday, 8 p.m. That means the Quest podcast is on the journey. Back at you with another great show. First, I'm going to go ahead and get these intros out the way. Luca, let them know what you're about.
What's up, guys? It's Luca on the 17th floor, here to bless all of you with my presence once again. How y'all doing?
Artemis.
What's up, everybody? Glad to be here tonight. Rand, thanks for coming in.
Timothy. We're gonna hold a guess for the last one. Let's go ahead.
Yeah, what's going on, everyone? Hopefully we got a pretty good show for you. We are missing a little boy remix tonight. Hopefully
a little Riri.
Yeah. And then I'm mbanes99. And then I want to introduce our illustrious guest, the man with the million, host of TXR podcast. Him and Jez has something new. I don't know what they're gonna call it, but also Rand has a YouTube out there. You know, Rand's Rants, spotlight the indies. Rand, tell them what you're about, man.
Yo, what's going on, guys? Thanks for having me on. Rand's Rants. I think we should. You know what? I think I'm gonna bring Luca on, and she can just do Luca's rants on the show because when I joined, she was going on her own rants. Got gold there. Let's do it. Luca's rants.
I'll get back to you on that.
Yeah, I think that'll be good. That'll be real good. All right, we're gonna go ahead and get this show on the road. Got a lot of information. Got a lot of topics to talk about. So we're going to start off with what we've been playing for the week. Rand, tell us what you've been playing.
What have I been playing? Well, I played some Mass Effect multiplayer, but I think you want to actually talk about that in the an actual section, so I won't delve more into my thoughts on that. But I played Death Squared, which is a indie game that came out earlier in the week, and I think it's absolutely amazing. It's one of the better ID at Xbox games out there. I think it goes for like $20, and it's a co-op puzzle game for up to 1, 2, or 4 people. Basically control like 2 cubes, and the point is to get them to like each of their respective end goals. One's blue, one's red. You can play it single player, like blue will be on the left stick, right will be on the red will be on the right stick. And 2 players, obviously one person will control red, one will control blue, and the goal is to work together to get to the end points. And I'm not a puzzle guy at all, right? Like, I don't like puzzle games, mainly because I'm not too smart, right? But this game was a lot of fun. I recommend anybody check that game out if you're interested in it. It's a really, really cool game. That's kind of like been the highlight of my week.
Okay. All right, Luca, what you been playing?
I played a little Horizon Zero Dawn a few days ago. I don't remember when. And then I started the Mass Effect trial last night.
All right. Artemis?
Just been playing Horizon Zero Dawn, man. Been loving that game. And then I played a little bit of the Mass Effect trial, but we'll get into that later.
All right. Timothy?
I finished up Horizon Zero Dawn, got the platinum on that. I've been playing the Mass Effect trial. Finished the campaign section of that. It's really good so far, but we'll talk more about that later. Started playing Oli Oli 2. Game, for what it is, surprisingly fun. Really enjoying that, actually. It's like a little side-scrolling skating game. Basically, the goal is just to do tricks and get to the end of the course. But I don't know what it is about it, but it's fucking addictive as hell.
Okay.
Yeah, I wanted to actually try that game out because it seemed like a pretty decent addition to the Oli Oli franchise. Because I mean, I know they had the first one. I like that one.
Yeah, I don't know if it's still on sale or not, but it was $3 the other day when I got it.
Ooh, nice. I might have to see if it's still on sale for sure.
Okay. Well, what I've been playing, I got the platinum in Horizon Zero Dawn. Love that game. It's a great game. After that, I caught the season pass of Tomb Raider. I caught it on sale for like 750 on they had it on sale for the gold, the games with gold sale. So I played the Baba Yaga and the Blood Ties. Both of those are pretty cool. Um, Played the fourth episode of Life is Strange, which if anybody's played that, the fourth episode, the way it ended, I was like, whoa.
I was crying, man. I still fucking cried when the song comes on because I got that song on my fucking phone. I was sobbing. I couldn't sleep that night. I was
Yeah.
like, who am I? I don't deserve any of this. That shit
Yeah,
fucked me up.
The end of that episode was like I was sitting there for a minute with my mouth open, like, what the world? Like, really?
I wish I could remember what happened then.
I remember.
It was traumatizing. So
Yeah, it was. It was. I did not expect it. I did not expect it at all.
That
and then the
game,
last thing
is very sad. That's true.
Yeah, so far it has been, but I'm waiting to get into episode 5. But the last game on the docket for me was the Mass Effect trial, and we'll talk about that a little bit later. So we're gonna go ahead and get into our topics. First of the night. It's one that's kind of been rehashed throughout the weeks. PlayStation now is coming to PC. Well, it's already on PC, but they're adding PlayStation 4 games. Me myself personally, I think it's good for gamers. It's a way for PlayStation to make more money. Also, it's a way for the PC crowd to play some of the PlayStation 4 games when they do hit that service. What do you guys think about it? Anybody can jump in.
Yeah, I think it's a good service. I'm not going to use it because I already have a PlayStation 4, so and plus I buy every game pretty much day one. But yeah, anybody who doesn't have a PS4, being able to play PS4 games on your PC is awesome, man. More games, the better for each and every platform. That's a good thing. I think how they're doing it. I don't think they're gonna give you guys like Horizon Zero Dawn or something like that right away. I think it'll be some of the older PS4 games like Second Son, Bloodborne, things like that. Probably the cheaper games that are like $20 now. You're not gonna get you might get an Uncharted 4 later on down the line. But you're definitely going to get Horizon as well down the line. But yeah, I don't think I see a lot of people saying that they're going to get these games right away, and I don't think it's going to happen like that.
See, I'm going to disagree with you on that one. I think Uncharted 4 is going to be one of the very first offerings.
Yeah,
because
I can see that.
If you look at Sony, they need to. If you read Twitter and everywhere, nobody knows anybody that has PlayStation now, right? They need to widen their demographic. They put it on PC. How do you get people to subscribe to a service that nobody really wants to subscribe to? If you're going to do that, you got to put your own games up on the service. And Uncharted has already sold 9 million copies. They basically bundled it with every PS4 last year. There's a good chance that by the time this rolls out, the game will already be a year old. So they're probably not losing anything by putting that game on the service day one. That'll probably be like the reason. Like it'll be like front and center, like Uncharted 4. You can rent it or whatever on PlayStation now immediately. But yeah, like Horizon Zero Dawn, that won't be up right away. I don't think you'll see any of their exclusives up day and date. I think you'll probably 6 months to a year later. But like I feel like Bloodborne and like Until Dawn and Uncharted 4 probably be there right away, because if it's just like PlayStation 4 games that you can normally get, I don't think it'll do very well. But if Sony sweetens the pot with their exclusives, they might get some traction with it.
Nice. Yeah, I can see that for sure.
Yeah, that definitely makes sense to do that. It's already sold as much as it's going to sell probably on PS4s. So why not open the market up to PCs and that with PlayStation Now for Uncharted?
Yeah, I think you'll see Uncharted 4, you'll see Nat, Killzone, you'll see the Order 1886, Bloodborne. Yeah,
I know about Bloodborne. I don't know if they'll bother putting that on there because the latency of the streaming it's going to be too much to play a game like Bloodborne.
Yeah, that's true.
Well, see, I'm thinking that they've done this because they're also re-optimizing the whole the whole streaming system. So maybe things like that will be
And
the
there's
latency won't be
no
that bad.
streaming service in the world that's fast enough to play Bloodborne.
You don't think so?
No, one exists. One exists. You guys are forgetting Beam.
True.
I wouldn't even play Bloodborne through the HDMI in on my Xbox. And that's about the same speed as Beam, and it's still too slow. You need that instant response time.
Okay. Another thing about this service too is I don't know where everybody was when this service was first announced, but I remember checking it out way back when it first came out, and they said back then that they were planning to put PS4 games on the service. I guess nobody just thought that it was ever going to happen. But if you look back when they first announced it, they had PS4 up on the screen, and then if you would have went into PlayStation Now and you scroll through, they had the sections there. They had PS3 games, and then they had PS4 games, and it said coming soon. This was back when it first dropped. So the surprise to me, I was like, why are y'all surprised? They said this when they first announced the whole service.
Mhm.
So
yeah, they announced
it's
that.
not really a surprise at all, though. It's definitely been coming in for a while,
right.
and it's just a matter of when and how they were going to deal with basically the PlayStation 3 and I guess TVs now too, because they want more people on the PlayStation 4. They're not going to let you play PS4 games on a PS3.
Right. That makes a lot of sense.
Well, yeah, they already talked about taking those away from PS Vita and PS3, and the TVs and stuff, and just strictly focusing on PC and PlayStation 4. I think people who are just gonna get into buying a PS4 or gonna buy a new PC, it's perfect for them because then they can just basically do that streaming service and have Uncharted, have all these other games, plus a ton of other library of games. So it's a good thing. That's definitely good.
Yeah, definitely. If nobody has anything else, we're gonna move on. Next topic is one that's also been rehashed through the week. We want to give you our take, and that's Colin's departure from Kind of Funny Games. In my opinion, you could see if you watch Kind of Funny, and you could see him kind of being distant in some of their shows. He would always be kind of sitting back and just like he really wasn't interested or really wasn't excited. I'm really gonna miss the dude because that was one of the bigger reasons that I watched Kind of Funny was for Colin, because he's smart, and he also had a lot of good points. I mean, he was a PlayStation fanboy, I guess, but I don't know how to put it, but he was he was a decent one to watch.
Yeah, he was a sensible fanboy. He would see when Sony did something messed up, like putting the PS4 Pro out, and he was just like, why are they even doing this?
Yeah.
So,
and honestly, I haven't watched the show since he left because I'm just kind of like, Colin's not there. Because a lot of times the reason why I would watch it is because him, basically. Yeah. Any other thoughts?
Okay, well, I have something to say. Oh, Randa, were you going to go?
Well, I was just going to say, I like Colin. I actually enjoy watching Kind of Funny guys, Greg Miller and those guys, right?
Mm-hmm.
Hold on 1 second.
Oh.
You go, Luca.
Okay. Yeah, I didn't watch any of their stuff because, I just wasn't interested in any of that. I have to say that as a woman, what Colin said was nothing. It was nothing. The fact that people made a big deal out of it is ridiculous to me. He's like, peace and quiet. It's not like he was like fucking dumbass bitches ruining everything. Everyone needs to calm down. And the fact that Greg wrote a 16-page paper saying we don't agree with his point of views and everything he said. Nigga, he just said peace and quiet. Like, I don't understand anything at this point. Like, you know, I just, what the fuck? You know, what the fuck is wrong with people? Like, nothing. It was nothing. And there are so many other things that you could be getting up in arms about, yet people are like, how dare you say such a thing? Do you really want this on your, whatever, you know, whatever the fuck. It was it was nothing. It was nothing. I just don't know at this point, to be perfectly honest.
Did I miss a rant? Damn it!
Yeah, you did, man. See?
It was a small.
I had to walk away for a minute, and I missed the rant. Dude, I need to replay this.
Yeah, all I was saying is that, like, you know, I don't really pay too much attention to my gender. I'm very apathetic about all that. But I can say, as a woman, what Colin said was nothing. Like, it wasn't even bad, you know? The fact that people made such a big deal out of it is ridiculous to me. And the fact that Greg threw him under the bus, I mean, like, really, you're really going to do that? You're really going to write a 10-page paper over peace and quiet?
Yeah, I know, right?
I think that's the biggest surprise is that, you know, Greg and what's his name, Tim Geddes, you know, went on, you know, social media and was just like, well, we don't support what he has to say. And it's just like, if your boys don't have your back, then it's probably a good time to get out. And I mean, it wasn't just because of the tweet. I think a lot of it had to do with him being distant from, I think the tweet or the Greg and Tim saying stuff was the bullet in the chamber, you know. It was just like, okay, this is done, you know, I'm about to fire, you know, I'm about to get out of here. He just, you know, I think he wanted to get more into politics and do his thing there. And good for him, because I mean, he does enjoy history, and he's a politic kind of guy, so you know, it's good for him.
Yeah, so I thought the tweet was harmless, like Lucas said. It's just a joke. In fact, it's an old joke. It's something like a dad would say, you know, like, oh, peace and quiet without women. But we live in a culture now that someone's got to be outraged about anything. It's any little thing that happens, people get outraged about, right?
Yeah.
And look, I understand, like, Greg and Tim and those guys run a business, and the business, they literally get paid from their fans. So I understand from that perspective, you know, him coming out and basically throwing Colin on their bus because it might affect their bottom line. However, there's been talk also that Colin was on his way out already. Like, they were burning off his Colin Was Right series pretty quickly. So he might have been already leaving when he posted that tweet. And Greg was just damage controlling it and stuff. I think it sucks because Colin, whether you like him or don't like him, he's highly intelligent. I really enjoyed listening to his perspective on games and topics and stuff like that. I thought he made kind of funny interesting, because Greg Miller is just an entertainer. That's what he is. Like, Colin was the one who was extremely smart, the one who was well-spoken. And I find the rest of them, like Colin and Tim, like, Tim's okay, but I mean, he's no Colin. And Nick, he stays behind the camera much of the time. So I feel like Kind of Funny's lost something that made them special. But I am interested in seeing where he's going to go next. And like you mentioned, seems like politics is where his heart truly is, because he talks about that all the time.
Right. Yeah.
Right. Any other thoughts? All right, we're gonna move on.
Something real quick. People need to get a fucking sense of humor. His tweet wasn't even funny. It wasn't even funny. You know what? I think that this entire thing would have blown over by next week, because people would have found something else to be angry about. It's the fact that he wrote that fucking 18-page paper throwing Colin under the bus. that's what made it blow up even more. Like, people would have gotten over it. It was harmless. It was nothing. I don't know, man. I just don't fucking know at this point.
And the way I thought about it too was I was like, I live in a house full of women. I got my little women and I got my wife. You know what I'm saying? And that's something I would just say on the humbug, like, a day without these women. I mean, I would just say that. You know what I'm saying? But it was just retarded to me. It was extremely retarded. And we as a society, we've gotten so sensitive, and that's the problem. We're way too sensitive. But anyway, we're gonna go ahead and move on. God of War. We know that they've stopped attaching dates to their games, so as not to get people's hyped up and then push the game back. You know, so they've actually started marketing God of War. These some of these advertisements were caught in Madrid. Does anyone think that the God of War game has an impending date for this year?
I think it will. Go ahead, Rand.
I was just gonna say, I was told that it's currently targeting October.
Okay.
By people that I trust. I mean, obviously dates are fluid, but I was told that it was supposed to come out this year, which is weird because God of War games usually come out in March.
Mm-hmm.
So I was always under the impression that this game would be March 2018. But this might be Sony's big game for the holidays unless it gets delayed. But game looks pretty cool, I will say that. I haven't played a God of War game since 2.
Okay.
Yeah, I haven't played one since 2 either.
I've never played any of them, so I know I'm going to get a lot of flack for that or backlash.
Yeah,
but they do seem like cool games. I might actually pick this one up because
they haven't been around for a while, so you can't really be.
Yeah, I mean they are really good games, and I think I remember reading somewhere or hearing something that the God of War was already done. Like you could play it front to back, but they still had a lot of optimizing and other things to fix within it. So, and I was thinking that Sony would have one of their heavy hitters come out during the time in which Scorpio would be dropping, so as to try to take some of that hype.
Yeah, it makes sense for a couple of them to come out then. Perhaps that's why they never released a date for them, because they were always intending to just release it at the same time as Scorpio.
Right. They have dropped a lot of their more notable games, I guess you could say, here in the first quarter. So, you're going to be looking for something pretty big, closer to holiday. So
yeah, I mean, it looks like a good game. I like the Norse mythology that they're going for this time. I didn't really like the Greek mythology because it's all fake anyways. But I feel like the Norse is more
more real than
more real.
Greek.
I think so.
What?
Haven't you seen Thor? Of course it's real.
I mean, one man's mythos is another man's religion, so.
Okay, anyways, ignoring that. Honestly, I don't know how I feel. When I first saw it, I was like, what the fuck is this? Because I've played all of the mainstream God of War games, and it doesn't look like God of War. It looks like
it doesn't.
Fucking The Last of Us or some shit. So I don't know how I feel about it. I'm going to have to wait and see. I really want to know how Kratos ended up in this area, since he fucking killed literally every single fucking god.
Well, they killed all the gods in one pantheon, so he's got to move on to another one now.
Like basically, that makes a lot of sense. So
and where did his son come from, right?
Right, and how are you going to bring in a son? Nick, he killed his wife and kids.
Exactly.
Yeah, that should set up the first game.
Well, do you think it's a reincarnation of Kratos?
No.
No. I mean, it can't be. The lore is so deep, it's so drawn out already. I mean, how are they gonna?
No, it's still Kratos, but it's like it's a reincarnation of him. Like, he comes back as a Norse.
Either that, or it's like just technically not related to the rest of them at all. Just like a complete reboot.
Well, I mean, it is just called God of War, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. It is.
Yeah,
Well,
maybe it's just
knows?
not like the rest of it's just gone in the law.
Right.
I don't know. I don't think it's a
Complete
what is
reboot.
it? Reboot. I don't think it's a reboot. Like he's still ashy, right? Like, like
Right.
that nigga's ashy, and there's a reason he has ash on him. It's the
Right.
ash of his kid and his wife. So I don't think it's a complete reboot. I think he's just in a different area.
It has to be. They're gonna have to. I hope they explain that within the game too. They're gonna have to at least a quick something.
They're probably
let
going
you
to
know.
give you like gameplay now, like making you love your son and shit, and then kill him.
That would be crazy. That would be crazy.
You're like, nigga, you thought you were going to have
Alright.
a son?
Any other thoughts about God of War?
I want
Alright,
to play it.
well,
It looks awesome.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it
You
does
need
look
to.
awesome.
You
I
need
just
to
do
go back and play the
hope they
series
keep it
whenever you
with
get your
the
PlayStation.
What do
hack
you
and
guys
slash
think
gameplay.
about the change, the camera change, like going completely different than what it used to be?
I mean, I'm interested. It piqued my interest, but if you play like I've played all three of them, so
I think
you've
that's
gotten
what got
used
me
to
more
one.
interested.
You've gotten used to one angle, so to me,
Yeah, I know.
sometimes change can be good. So I'm interested to see how it plays out.
Yeah, but a camera angle change like that, like it doesn't really support the old style of gameplay, so
It doesn't.
it's probably
It doesn't
looking
at all.
towards a completely different style of game,
Right.
which
Which could be
we're
good.
yet to see it. It could be good, it could be a bad thing.
Yeah. Yeah. So, all right, we're gonna move on from God of War. Next topic is Drawn to Death. It's gonna be a PS Plus free game next month. This was created by David Jaffe, who also created Twisted Metal. He was also he had a big part in God of War. So did you guys get to look at anything about Drawn to Death?
I remember seeing it quite a while back when they first announced it, and just thought, yeah, that's kind of cool. But I'm considering that like the amount of like hype they put into it when they first announced it. I'm surprised that it's coming, like releasing as a PlayStation Plus game.
Well, correct me if I'm wrong. Isn't Drawn to Death a multiplayer game, right?
I believe that's correct.
Yeah, it's like an arena type third person shooter.
Yeah.
And it's
Right. So for a game like that to be successful, it needs a large player base to play from, right? Look
that's
at
why
Rocket
you got
League.
PS Plus. Yeah.
Yeah, Rocket League is one of the biggest success stories of this gen because it launched on PlayStation for free and PC, and then came to Xbox One later. That new game, I think Disc Jam, they released it for free on PlayStation. It seems like if you have a multiplayer focused game, I'm
Mhm.
sure maybe it's supported with microtransactions or something like that. But like it seems like a good idea to release your game to as many people as possible because I played Verdun over a game that came out on Xbox One last week, and one of the modes had 20 people playing. Another mode had 50 people playing. Yeah, the main mode had 400, but how many people are going to be playing that game 3 months from now, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I guess that makes sense.
yeah, I mean, if you look at it, like they might be thinking David Jaffe might, okay, they're getting paid for your game because I'm sure Sony's got to cut them a percentage of every download or whatever the payment structure is for games with gold and PSN Plus. But also, you at least get a huge audience to play your game. Whereas if you're selling it for $20 or $10, you're not going to reach that many people, and maybe the game would die off.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
Well, I'm gonna tell you from a TXR inside type thing, Rand. It definitely doesn't look like Verdun.
Oh, good. Hopefully, because have any of you guys played Verdun?
No.
No, I haven't.
No,
Heard it was trash.
it very much is trash.
Yeah.
Actually, you told me it was trash, Rand, and I was like, oh, okay.
I mean, I know everybody can't like everything, and I'm sure someone out there really likes Verdun, and I hear it's good on the PC, but that Xbox One version is not good at all.
Yeah, it tends to happen to a lot of games. It gets like a really good PC release and then like a half-baked console release, and then nobody plays it.
Yeah, Verdun was Verdun. Now,
Just
looking crazy.
just wow.
And now the thing that draws me to Drawn to Death is that it's like sketched out, so it looks like
All over.
somebody's drawing in the
Fucking
comic
killing
book
it
or
with these
something.
puns today, but Baines.
It the way it's drawn out, and then all kind of crazy stuff could happen. I mean, when I first saw it, I think I saw it last year sometime. But just that art style really drew me to the title, and
Yeah.
the fact that it is going to be free, that's a good thing. This thing has been in development for about 4 years now, though. I was surprised to read that.
It kind of reminds me of Sunset Overdrive a bit, just with a different art style, obviously.
Right.
But like
Right.
that crazy sort of like punk rocker vibe.
Right. And that's
Yeah.
what I mean. The dude, David had, is synonymous with Twisted Metal, so that had like a punk rocker vibe to it too. So I think it's gonna be pretty cool. Plus, it's gonna be free to try out, so I'm definitely looking forward to doing that. Gonna move on from Drawn to Death. We're gonna talk about some Horizon.
Wait! I didn't get to say what I needed to say on.
Oh, my bad,
Drawn to
Artemis.
Death, man.
Go ahead, Artemis. Shake the floor then.
All I gotta say
Shake the groove
is,
thing.
like, it's free to play. That's good and all. I probably won't pick it up because I never pick up any of the PS Plus games, anyways. But it looks like an interesting game. I mean, it's definitely from what you guys are saying, like the art style is very interesting. It looks like a kid in high school drew it.
Yeah, that's the idea of it.
While he's sitting in class or whatever, and that's kind of cool. The whole it being only multiplayer only is kind of iffy to me. I mean, I don't like just only multiplayer games, so that's probably another reason why I won't be getting it at all. But I mean, it's good for the people who want to play a multiplayer only game, and they get it for free. So, and then after that, I think what is it, like $20 after that if you don't get it that next month or something like that.
Yeah. Well, like Rand said, remember Rocket League came out there, and it's become a phenomenon. This jam, I'm hearing a lot of people talk about that. I haven't downloaded it myself, but I think I'm gonna go ahead and
Rocket
download
League
it
was
just to give it a
also
try.
like a massive hit on PC as well, where it wasn't free. You actually had to pay for it, and like it was just like a phenomenon.
It was also massive hit on Xbox One, where you had to pay for it as well.
Yeah.
So
In fact, I think when my buddies were in party last night, he loaded it up, and there was still like 60,000 people that were playing Rocket League at that given point in time. So even still, there are a lot of people playing that game. A lot of people love Rocket League, and they got more content coming out for it. So
yeah, no.
Yeah, you've also got that cross-play with Rocket League too, so you get those bigger player counts on it.
Yeah, so we'll see what happens with this one. Next on the docket is Horizon Zero Dawn, 2.6 million in 2 weeks. I think that was a good debut. Also, along with the announcement of this, they talked about some extra DLC. So, some story expansion DLC. So we'll see what happens with that. What are you guys' thoughts? Go ahead, Luca.
2.6 million. That's really good, especially for a new IP in just 2 weeks. Like I've heard the arguments saying, oh, well, PlayStation has a 60 million install base, all that stuff, and I'm just kind of like, this is a new IP, and it's only been 2 weeks. Can we just give them this? Let's just give them this, okay? It's like, can we just give them this, please? It's not that big of a deal.
Yeah, it's a great game. It definitely deserves that 2.6 million. Surprised it. I'm honestly surprised it hasn't got more.
Right.
But yeah, that DLC, I'm not sure about like story DLC just yet, because like it would have to like go over some side plot, because I don't know how much more they'd be able to go with like the main plot that they had, because just about everything was like resolved by the end of the game without going into any
At
spoilers.
the very end now, did you see the very end?
Yeah, I
No
saw that.
spoilers. Yeah, so they could take it from that angle and go, with that character if they wanted to.
Yeah, I
Look,
didn't.
can I be brutally honest here for 1 second? Like, brutally honest, because I was going to make
Go
a
ahead,
video
Rand.
about this, but I didn't, right?
ahead,
Microsoft would kill for a new IP to sell 2.7 million copies in
I know, right?
in 2
I
weeks.
I didn't
They
want
would,
to take it. I didn't want to take it there, but yeah.
they would. I'll say it. I'll say it because I'm not afraid of anybody. Like, Microsoft would kill their firstborn if they could have had Sunset Overdrive or Rise or Recore or any of their new games sell 2.7 million in 2 weeks. Kill, murder, anything. Like, to say Horizon Zero Dawn, to damage control Horizon Zero Dawn by saying, hey, it sold 2.6 million, but the user base is 60 million. That's pretty bad in my opinion, because as you should know, if you've been following sales for a long time, software sales never scale linearly with console user base. It never has,
Right.
and it never will. Right? It doesn't matter that PlayStation has 60 million people on it. Right? That doesn't mean suddenly games are going to sell 3 times proportionate of what they should be. They're going to sell exactly what they look.
Yeah.
Uncharted 4 sold 2.7 million in a week. Horizon Zero Dawn did that in 2 weeks, and Uncharted is like the biggest PlayStation franchise. I think this is absolutely amazing in an era where it seems new IPs only are really supported by multi-platforms. Like Ubisoft seems to have a good record with it, like For Honor, Ghost Recon, Watch Dogs, things like that. But come on, let's be serious here. Microsoft would die to have, like, if Record did 2.7 million in 2 weeks, Microsoft would be so elated.
You hear
They
it
could barely
everywhere.
get any of their
Yeah.
games to sell that much.
Yeah. And I don't understand the argument, because what are you saying? Do you expect them to all 60 million units, everybody that owns one, do you expect all of them to buy it? Is that what we're talking about now?
Yeah,
I don't understand
You're
it.
still going to get the exact same amount of people buying the games, no matter how many consoles are out there, because the people that want those games already have whatever console they have, and they're just going to buy it anyway. Like and there are people out there that don't have a PS4 yet, but they want Horizon, so they go out and get one.
Right, and when we say 60 million people who have a PlayStation 4, most of these people are casuals. So I mean,
Yeah.
it's good that they sold 2.6 million, because it makes people see like, oh, this must be a really good game. So some of these casuals actually might go out and buy this game and play it and actually really love it. So I mean, it's good for them, especially since it's a new IP. It's not Uncharted. It's something brand new. Nobody's seen it before, and I'm glad to see where they take it
and
next.
Generally, casual players don't tend to buy games as soon as they're released.
I sure didn't. The only reason I fucking got this game is because you guys were like, hey, you should get it. And I was like, I have like $5 in my bank account, and Baines was like, trust me, sister. When I steered you wrong,
right,
and I was like, damn, nigga, really? Okay, I got you. So yeah, I was gonna wait on this game too. I don't buy new IPs. Are you fucking kidding me? The fuck? No. I wait and see if the game's actually good, And I
$60 is a lot to spend,
exactly
right? On something that is unproven, which is why Grand Theft Auto 5 is still in the charts, because that's kind of like the comfort food. Everybody loves Grand Theft Auto. People know that they like it. But think about this for a second, guys. Think about this. Sony let Guerrilla Games take a break from Killzone, which was their premier first-person shooter game, right? In an era where multiplayer games seem to dominate. Everybody's always about multiplayer games, whether it's Overwatch, whether it's Call of Duty or Battlefield, right? They let them go from Killzone and make a single-player focused open world RPG. and gave them 6 years to make that game. That's impressive to me. Because in a scenario, I can't see Microsoft letting 343 do the same. Shelf Halo. We're gonna go make something different that's not Halo for 6 years. I just don't see that.
I think a big factor in that is that Killzone Shadowfall wasn't the game that the old Killzones were. It wasn't as good. Like, it was pretty critically panned, and so they decided to put that off to the side for the moment because it wasn't doing as good, and just be like, let's try and get them back to the good games and give them the creative freedom to make something that they want to make. And when you're making something you want to make, you're going to make it way better than making something you don't want to make.
Yeah, and Sony, they're real good about, giving that creative time to make something decent like that. I'm telling you, I wish to high heaven that Quantum Break would have sold 2 million in the first 2 weeks, because I so desperately want a sequel to that. But we'll never see.
And if it did sell 2 million in 2 weeks, they would announce the sequel. It'd have been like, hey,
yeah,
shoot,
Quantum Break 2
we would
coming.
have DLC right now, and then be waiting on the sequel. Yeah, so I don't know. Any other thoughts on Horizon?
Good for them.
Watch what you say. You're gonna lose more friends, Luca. Lose more friends. It's tough out here in these console war streets.
It's tough in these gaming streets, in these streets. I gotta get my battle armor ready.
What's a street? Oh shoot!
All right, we're moving on. Go ahead.
I think it's good. It's good for them, and like what you're saying with them being able to have a new IP. Guerrilla Games has never done something like this before. They can definitely go into any kind of direction with a sequel. It's a good thing. So I mean,
there's a lot
good for them to get off of the Killzones, because the Killzone, good game. It's just not, it's not like this story. I really enjoy a lot more than I do the Killzone. So good for them.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, they managed to make a world that gets you hooked into it, and you want to know why all of this stuff is how it is.
Right. And I got the platinum in it, but I didn't get the platinum because I was actively searching to get the platinum. I just got the platinum because I wanted to do everything, because it was just that good to me. So by the time I was done with the game, I was 98%. I had 98% of the trophy. So I was like, well, I might as well go ahead and get the last one. You know what I'm saying? But I didn't go into the game saying, okay.
Don't tell me you got all those collectibles just because some of those collectibles were...
No.
Yeah,
I think. But no, Tim. Yes, I did. You talking about all the little plants and vantage points and stuff like that?
Yeah.
Yes, I did. And in fact, one of the areas is crazy, because I went just to get a vantage point, and if you know what I'm talking about. It's toward it's one of the later missions in the game. You have to go back here, and you face a storm bird there. But I went there. Yeah, I went there just to get the vantage point and leave, right? And I faced the Stormbird. So when I came back to do the actual mission, there was nobody there. I had cleared everybody out already. I was like, dang, Mike, you broke the game. Yeah, I did, man. I enjoyed it so much.
Say it again? That specific one, getting that vantage point afterwards is a hell of a lot cooler than getting it up before it, because you actually know what that location is.
Oh, yeah. You're right. All right. I guess enough about Horizon. Go ahead.
Before we go on, shout out to J-Dubs for my awesome fucking icon. People have come to me saying, Luca, it's so scary. And I'm just like, that's the point. That's the fucking point. I'm tired of flaming people on Twitter. So I'm hoping they see my icon and this deters them and they stop arguing with me. It's worked so far for the most part.
Well, Mr. God makes excellent work.
Yes, he does.
Yes,
Mr. God
he does.
Go ahead.
He made our banner, and he also made our little icon as well. So
exactly. Shout out to him.
He made my soft serve avatar, which I love so dearly.
Oh, I love the story behind that too, man. This is great.
Yeah, the story. Yeah, about like, dude, with South at E3, all he wants to do is take pictures of everything, and I'm like, I'm not a picture taking kind of guy, right?
Yeah.
And every single time, and I was just trying to enjoy my fucking ice cream, and here we go with another picture. It's like, yo, please leave me be. Yeah, I gotta hit Jay up for the show me and Jez are doing. I need to run some ideas through the God and see what he comes up with.
Yeah, shouts out to Jay.
He's amazing. He's amazing. I mean, I told him what I wanted, and he delivered 100%.
Nice.
Satisfaction, 100% satisfaction guaranteed.
All right, let's move along, people. Next up is PlayStation has basically been dominating the market. They got a lot of the market share. I think like 51% overall. They had 57% within 2016. The main thing I wanted to talk about is it seems like hardware and software sales have went down year over year. When you compare February of this year to February of last year. But we know that this year we've also had a better, January, February as far as games being put out than we had last year. So what do you guys think about that? Do you think that's some type of omen? Are things starting to slow down? Or
hardware sales, it's a no-brainer that it's slowing down. Everybody's already got one.
Well, see, it's hardware and software.
Yeah, the software one is a little harder to explain though, because you're still getting more like consoles in the home, and yet you're not getting as many sales. It doesn't seem to make much sense. It is a little puzzling.
Yeah. Do we think it's because it's more casuals with the systems and they're just not buying anything but a certain amount of games?
You got also, with MPD is they don't get numbers for digital for Microsoft, Sony, and Nintendo games. So you're missing out on some stuff there that would go to that. They do get digital stuff for everything else. So I think what it is now compared to what it used to be is that games are designed for longevity. Think Overwatch. Okay. Somebody could get Overwatch and be happy with that purchase and spend all their money on Overwatch loot boxes and stuff and not have to play anything else. Multiplayer, is kind of taken over in that regard, where before you would have to get a bunch of different games because single player only lasts you so long. But multiplayer games are timeless. I mean, in this MPD release, Rainbow Six Siege was like number 6, and that's a game that came out December of 2015. If I'm not mistaken, December of 2015, and that base game is basically multiplayer only. So people that literally just play Rainbow or just play Call of Duty, and they don't buy as many games as they used to. And also with the rise of PlayStation Now, where you can rent, which they don't track, and eventually Xbox Games Pass, right? Like that's another kind of thing there.
So would you think sales would dip even more when that really comes and starts to get rocking?
Yeah, I think it'll affect catalog purchases, like games that are a little bit cheaper. Because I don't think Microsoft or any of the third-party publishers are going to put out new games right away. But it'll affect maybe the games that are like $30 and below if they're on there. I'm sure. I mean, because the value proposition of spending $10 and getting access to 100 games is a pretty good proposition. I'm sure that'll have some effect on it, but the question is how much. But yeah, I mean, also mobile gaming. A lot of people have gone over to mobile gaming and spend their time there. I mean, there's a lot of different factors that kind of attribute to less software sales.
Yeah, I guess it more signifies basically a greater move to digital, I guess, over physical.
Do you think that's why you see a lot more developers making and publishers making multiplayer only games? Because
that's a trend that I hope doesn't take hold, because I love my single player games.
Right. But it's because of the longevity of them, though. It's like multiplayer. I mean, Evolve didn't do so well, but it could have.
There's a lot more issues with Evolve other than the fact that it was multiplayer only.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. I mean, look at Titanfall, the first one. You know, we actually got a sequel to it because it was a multiplayer. You know, it was multiplayer only, but people loved it so much that it was just like, you know, we have to make another sequel. So
Yeah, single player games, like you play them up to a certain point and just like, unless you're just fucking around doing nothing, there's not much you can really do. Whereas multiplayer games, you can just keep playing them
Keep going
until
back.
the player base just dies out so much that just you can't find a match.
Yeah, and I
Unless
tell
until
you,
then.
to speak to that point, every time Rainbow Six goes on sale, I'm looking at it like, oh, I need to buy this game, because the player base is just sticking because they love the game so much. But I've seen it on sale so
Yeah,
many times, and I'm actually thinking about picking it up too, because
Yeah,
I
I'm
know
not
there
sure
are going to
about
be people
now,
there to play.
but it's one of the few games that has actually risen in, like, the player base has gone up since launch.
Yeah.
yeah,
And
I
why
don't
would
think
you need to buy anything else if you
That's a
have
huge
that game?
success story for Ubisoft. Look at Ubisoft. Like all their games, basically going forward, are going to follow that formula. For Honor is the best-selling game of this this year so
Yeah.
far, and that game. Look, video games are expensive to make. We all know this, right? They're super
Right.
expensive to make, and prices of games have not gone up in a long time. They've
Right.
remained at $60. So even though the cost of games have risen, the price of games have not, which is why you see microtransactions in everything, because games are so expensive to make. They need to have that extra revenue to try to support them. And I mean, multiplayer is so huge because you get engagement for such a long period of time because you want someone to play your game and nobody else's game, right?
Right.
Which is why Rainbow has the new operators and free maps, which is why Halo had new updates every single month. They just wanted people to keep on playing their game and not leave. And it's great if you're a multiplayer focused gamer. It's like paradise. But for someone like myself, and I'm sure someone, like you guys, I like my single player games sometimes, like
Exactly.
Yeah, I prefer single player games, to be perfectly honest. Other than Dark Souls, I suck at multiplayer stuff. Like I only bought a few games for my PlayStation 4, and they were all single player RPGs. I played The Witcher 3 twice, and I know people go on and on about how they can't finish the game, but I've played through it twice, and on the second time it was on the second hardest difficulty. And then I played Dragon Age Inquisition 3 times. I played Dark Souls over and over again. Like, I enjoy my single player games. I know like little Riri, he can only play a single player game
Riri.
once.
Shouts out to little Riri.
But if I really like a single player game, I'm going to play it over and over and over again. So I hope single player games don't go away, because I'm not a big multiplayer person.
Yeah, I agree with you on that. I was never really big into multiplayer until I started, getting into the community more and more. Yeah, I like my single player games as much as you do, Luca. It's just I've always kind of been like Call of Duty has always been like the go-to though for me, because like I guess because I'm decent at it. I'm not the best at it, of course. If I was, then I'd be pro. But it's definitely taking me back a little bit. Like I would rather play a single player game over multiplayer anyways, because it's just I feel more immersed than I do with multiplayer. I'm just like, oh, look at my gun, look at the new gun I got. But at least in the single player aspect of a game, I can be like, ooh, look at that new building that I see in the distance or whatever, something like
And you
that.
have no one to share it with.
I don't care, Tam, if I have to share it with anybody. At least I get to see it, and I don't, I can be like, ooh, I want to go there or whatever.
No, I
Exactly.
understand. Yeah, like you get the right single player game, you can play, like, I guess you could technically play it over and over again and just have the one game that you play for like a whole year. Like I know
Yeah.
I've, like in the past, I've played single player games like 14 or 15 times over just because I enjoyed it so much.
Yeah.
I don't really do that anymore because there's just too many games to be able to do that.
Too much out here. Yeah.
Yeah, I have to say though that after I played through Dark Souls, okay, I played through it a lot of times, but I played through Dark Souls 3 twice, and then after my second playthrough, I was like, okay, I don't know, I'm starting to get bored of this. Maybe I'll try the online, even though I suck at online, and it really did extend the life of the game for me for another like 3 or 4 months. So I mean, multiplayer definitely has its place. I definitely see why developers, a lot of them are focusing on that, because it does have longevity.
Yeah, Dark Souls is kind of different too, though, because like the multiplayer in that it's intertwined with the single player. Like you can play the single player without the multiplayer, but it just goes with it as well.
Yeah.
All
We
right.
got them to talk about Dark Souls. Oh, boy.
Dark Souls?
Yeah, hey, I was enjoying it.
Hey, that new Dark Souls DLC comes out. Let's see here. Ooh, I don't
It's called a
2
ring or
weeks.
something like that. What's
Ring
it called?
City.
Ring City. Yeah, I saw that.
That shit better not be bad. I swear to God.
I doubt it.
He's so
We-
angry if it is.
If it is, then we're gonna have a Luca rant. It's gonna be great.
We'll look forward to that one. But as far as these sales, I'm just hoping that this isn't a bad omen for the industry. I guess we have to watch month to month to see what those software sales do. I know with a lot of these services coming out that may, hurt, make the situation look worse. But we'll see as that go on. Next topic is the Xbox speech to text feature that's coming to the Xbox. What do you guys think about that? Like, are you actually gonna, speak to to the system?
Considering how well Cortana does it,
Yeah.
fuck that.
Considering
Yeah.
how well Siri does it on your iPhone, yeah.
So it's text to with speech to text, and then it's text to speech also. So I just can't see using either, using that while I'm playing the game. I mean,
No,
if you don't
text to
have
speech can be funny as fuck. If you've ever played Moonbase Alpha on the PC, that shit is hilarious. People like write songs and shit with that, and it's beautiful.
Yeah, see, that's what people will do. People will do stuff like that and just be trolling during the whole game. I'm straight. Yeah. So,
Yeah, no, I don't think it's gonna catch on at all. I don't think
Not
anybody's
on
gonna
the
be.
Xbox.
Yeah, I mean, if they didn't already have it, if they had it on there in the beginning, it might have caught on a little bit. But I mean, it's too late now. I mean, there's no reason for it, to be honest.
yeah, and the quote that I found funny was to create a more accessible and inclusive gaming experience for everyone. And I was like, yeah, right. It's because that's an annoyance, is what it is. But it's just one more feature that we're given, and Microsoft is good about that. Giving us
What's the
features
point
for
of
Xbox.
speech to text and then text to speech when we just have voice chat?
Yeah,
Yeah,
for
I
real.
guess they're saying, yeah, that's true. I guess they're saying, when the voice chat is not available for everybody. And at least that's how the article was trying
Yeah,
to
but you've
explain
got to
it.
have the voice chat to be able to use that feature, though.
Well, if
You've got
you
to have a
have it, but somebody
microphone.
else doesn't have it, well,
Oh, they can still
and
hear
you
you.
speak it to and it brings up the text on their screen. But then that
Yeah,
would be
they
an
can-
annoyance to me too. I don't want.
Yeah, and they can hear you through the TV anyway. So,
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
if you haven't got a headset plugged in, it'll go through the TV. So it seems like a pointless feature.
Yeah. But it's a feature nonetheless. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
It's
nothing
like
wrong with
somebody's.
options.
Yeah.
Somebody said I'd rather need it or have it and not need it than need it and not have it. You know what I'm saying? So it's something else that Microsoft is throwing in our hat.
I
We
mean,
gotta
I'm sure
appreciate
it'll be good for some fucking hilarious videos and shit, but
that.
apart
Yeah.
from that,
True. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Up next, we got the 4K. Apparently, the Scorpio is supposed to have 4K 60 game capture. Rand, I know you and Jez were talking about this. I'm gonna give you a chance to go into this a little bit more.
Yeah, so
Brother.
he got internal documents from Xbox, which I have seen as well, that talk about Upload Studio is going to get updated, and with Scorpio, that you'll be able to take 4K video at 60 frames per second and share them to social media and make your videos and stuff, which is kind of interesting and true because I use Upload Studio for a lot of my like Ranzini spotlights and things like that, and it sucks. Upload Studio blows.
Yeah, imagine that with 4K and 60
So what is it
frames.
now?
Yeah.
Like 720? I think it was 720 30.
Yeah, I think the highest it does is 720/30. So, no, I'm planning on getting a Scorpio day one. Obviously, if it's like $600, probably not, but I don't think it will be. So yeah, for me being I hate calling myself this, but a content creator, and I use that in quotes because that's what content creators and whatever. But a revamped Upload Studio along with the ability to capture 4K video and 60 frames per second seems really cool to me, especially if you're if you want to do stuff like that.
Yeah. So do you think
hopefully
with
that they get the we get the option to like export that raw video file like via a hard drive or something and like put it onto your computer, because
you can upload it directly to OneDrive if you want.
yeah, but they're going to be big files.
Well,
Unless
all right,
Microsoft's got some revolution in compression.
Well, there is File Explorer. I wonder, they have that on the system. I wonder if you could do that, put it in File Explorer, and then it would just show up on your PC.
Yeah.
What were you saying, Baines?
No, I was just talking about the hard drive space in which they're coming with the Scorpio. It's going to have to be pretty big if they're going to have something like this, right?
It better be fucking big.
Yeah.
I mean, but how big are we expecting it to be? I mean, Microsoft still needs to price this accord. Like, are you guys expecting what, a 5 terabyte hard drive or?
Nah, man.
Nah, a terabyte.
It's got to be at least a terabyte.
Yeah.
At least.
It cannot be 500 gigs, dude. It's got to be at least a terabyte.
They do allow you to plug in your own external hard drives.
That's true, but I don't have an external hard drive. That like not all Xbox users have. Or
I know.
well,
I mean, I'm not saying they all do, but I mean,
yeah.
Plus the
Tim
Pro
Dog
came with the. You don't think they would be competitive with the Pro in all aspects, because the Pro came with the terabyte too. So
I'm sure a base model for Scorpio will at least have a 1 terabyte hard drive, but you can get like Tim Dog, because he was shopping for one. He just bought a 5.
Yeah, I saw that. He got it for like $120.
For $120. You can get 5 terabytes for $120.
Jesus fucking Christ.
Oh wait,
that seems
really?
like a pipe to me.
Yeah, he was looking for a new one. So I got mine. I got my 1 terabyte one. It was on sale for $20, and then I got a 4 terabyte one that was on sale for $80. You just got to look for sales. They come across. So.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm poor as fuck, so that sounds good for me.
Yeah, like a 2 terabyte hard drive here is like $120 at cheapest.
Dang.
Yeah.
But yeah, like hopefully with this they let you use those external hard drives for capture space, like to put those 4K videos on, because otherwise that hard drive's going to fill up quick.
Well, not only that, but cloud storage, because those are also saved on the cloud, and I would assume 4K video would also take up a lot of the cloud storage as well.
Right. Yeah, and you can't expand that at the moment.
Although, to be honest, I don't think I would want to capture at 4K. I probably would just rather capture at 1080p 60.
Yeah,
I think 4K.
Have the option, right?
Well, hopefully you have the option, but I'm just saying, if given the option, I would capture at 1080p 60, probably because smaller file size rather than 4K, where most people can't even really use or watch 4K content on YouTube because most people don't have like a 4K monitor or whatever,
Yeah, or the connection speed to be able to reliably stream that.
Exactly.
Yeah, and even the 4K videos I'll see on YouTube, I mean, you can tell that they're still not 4K. It's because it's streaming. You're not going to get that true 4K picture unless it's native. So I guess we'll see. All right, any other thoughts on that? Nope. So we're going to move on. Ghost Recon. You had something, Tim?
I was just saying nope.
Okay.
No more
Ghost Recon sales. I think it was the biggest first week launch so far this year, and overall it's second to Division. I think I read. So that's pretty decent. It had decent scores. What do you guys say it again?
I assume that's what Lucas.
Oh, no chills, Noob, man. You're fucking awesome. Okay, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Noob. But so what do you guys think about Ghost Recon? I know y'all have played it. I think it was a 75 in Metacritic.
Yeah, it's about what I'd put it at.
Okay.
It's not a great game, but it can be fun.
75 was like, I think, my prediction for it. I gave it a 7 because it is a game that is best experienced in co-op. But I feel like there's no direction in the game because like each of the areas, it's like you go into the area, you pick up the intel, you do the main missions, you take out the boss, and it's rinse repeat for 21 different areas, and it's your basic Ubisoft collectathon game. Now, I'm not saying that it can't be fun because there are moments I had a great time playing Ghost Recon, but there are also moments where I was just going through the motions because everything was the same, you know? But apparently, like you said, it's huge. Another one of the success stories, you know, going to like the idea that if you have a huge beta, it will translate to huge success. And what you said, it's like what this best-selling Tom Clancy game, only behind Division, which was huge. People forget how huge Division was when it launched.
Super huge.
Yeah. So we'll probably see more Ghost Recon Wildlands 2 with the complete huge open world focused on, you know, co-op and things like that, because it seems that at least what people want for that. To me, this game didn't feel like an actual Ghost Recon game.
Yeah, me too. And I mean, it seems like it just felt so. I mean, and I played by myself. Okay, so you know, most people that you including when I heard, you know, I saw the episode when y'all talked about it on TXR. The general consensus is that, you know, you need to play it with people in order to have fun. I'm telling you, man, I played this by myself and I almost fell asleep on the sticks. Seriously.
I'm falling asleep. Like, you guys talking about this?
Oh my God, Dark! I forgot you were in here. The fuck?
It's one of those games.
I couldn't see the fun in it. I couldn't, and I was like, well, I guess you have to have somebody to play. You have to have a squad. So I was like, no, I'm not purchasing it. Maybe I'll get it later on, but that's why I didn't purchase it, because I almost fell asleep playing this, and then went and turned on another game, and I was wide awake. So I was like, yeah, it's the game.
It suffers from the curse of giving the players too much freedom. Like, you can just go and do whatever, and you don't really have like, it doesn't feel like there's any real purpose.
There's no story. There's no deep story. There's no deep lore. It's just like, go do this.
That story, but it's kind of just a background thing.
Well, yeah, the story is completely optional. All the story beats are in collectibles that you have to read, or in recordings that you can or cannot watch, or those videos that pop up, which are all optional. The story serves no purpose in this game. The backdrop is there's cartel, they're bad guys, come in here, wipe them out. I will say, though,
they could have done this with a story, don't you think? They could have done this with a great story.
But like, they must have felt that the way games are going and stuff, that people want to just fuck around and have a good time with their friends, and that's clearly what they were going after in this game. You know, they weren't going for a deep narrative. They were just going for the idea of get together with 4 of your buddies, which means make 3 of your other friends buy the game and have a good time. You know.
Right. You got something, Tim?
No, it's just like, yeah, it wants to be, it really wants to be a jungle GTA, and it's just not.
I likened it to Just Cause meets Far Cry.
Yeah.
Essentially. By way of Division.
It's a lot like that.
Yeah. What about you, Artemis?
I don't care, man. To be honest, like this, you know, I was thinking about picking this game up later on, but now that I just see like it's just way better with co-op, I'm just like, by the time I even get to it, I probably won't even have anybody to play it with, and if they do want to play it with me, they'd probably be like, I've already played through this, and they'll just like run me through it. I'm just like, I don't like doing that, you know.
Right.
The game seems boring as fuck.
Yeah,
so I'm with you, Dark.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So Well, Dart, when we pick it up later on, because I will pick it up later on a nice little sale, man. We'll go through it, and we can go through it with Tim. He can lead us through.
just pull us through. See, that's the same thing that happened to me in the division. Like, I jumped into a game with a bunch of friends, and like I couldn't do anything, but I was leveling up, man. And it's
I know, right?
I hate that Ubisoft did that. Like, it was just like, why do you guys do this? Like, you guys should cut it off at like a certain point, like maybe level 10 or something like that, where you can only join people that are close to your rank, and they haven't figured that out yet. So
yeah, that kind of stuff is okay when there's actually good fun shit to do when you hit the max level, because then you just like get to max level as fast as you can, so you can do that stuff like I guess in like MMOs and stuff where you do raids.
But there's no end game to Ghost Recon, is there?
Yeah, no, there's not.
So
it's just
I think I read somewhere where they were thinking about implementing a PvP.
PvP is coming. It is going to be a free update, which I'm not really sure how well that's going to work out.
Yeah, I know.
The
What do you
actual,
think it's going to look like?
I don't know, because the actual shooting in the game is very pedestrian. So I don't know. I mean, it's cool that they're adding it. They also have I think a couple expansions coming later, but I don't know how that multiplayer is going to work out. And they better not add achievements, because I will be upset.
I even wonder what the expansions will look like, since the world's so huge anyway. What are they going to do? Give you another cartel boss to go get? I mean,
add a story maybe? I don't know.
Well, there are 4 areas in the game that don't have bosses in them.
Yeah, that'll be.
So they put the bosses in those areas.
Probably.
Yep, that's your DLC.
Yeah, but you already killed El Sueño. It's like, okay, well.
Or did you?
Ooh, Rand! Now you got me intrigued.
Or did you kill El Sueño? The actual ending to the game is I thought was actually pretty good. The ending cutscene I thought was really well done. But yeah, I don't want to spoil it. But
God damn it, Rand! Now I have to go back and finish it.
It's too bad the rest of the game and the story just didn't live up to the end.
Yeah. Right. Yeah, I guess it'll be a while before I see the end, man. We'll
just look it up on YouTube.
Yeah.
I'm sure somebody will upload it.
All right. Next on the docket is Splatoon 2. This probably will go by pretty fast.
I don't know what that is, so let's move on. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
They had a demo that went playable actually today. And one of you guys, I know, Autumn, you're the only one with the Switch. Are you interested in a Splatoon 2?
I didn't even know it was out, man. I haven't touched my Switch in forever, dude. like I got it day one and played Zelda, and I like Zelda, but it's not Zelda, man. It's not that linear type of dungeon crawling type of game.
From what I'm hearing, this is super open. Like you can actually go to the last. You can go to the last boss immediately if you want to.
Yeah, if you wanted to.
No, you gotta do a bit of glitching to get there, but you can.
Yeah, but the best thing about this game is that there's shrines, and those shrines get you different power-ups and things like that, and that's fun, doing the puzzles and figuring out what you need to do. But in the open world, it's barren, man. There's nothing to do there.
How's the durability system?
The durability. Oh my gosh!
Everybody's sitting on that.
The durability of the weapons is just like, why are they trying to make it more like a Dead Rising type of feel to it, where things break and you can't get them back.
I hate those kind of games.
It's annoying. Like Dead Rising does it best, because you can
there's shit everywhere.
Yeah, you can just get it everywhere, anywhere. And in this game, it's just so far in between before you can get like a master sword or something like that it's just like, like The Witcher did it really well when they had it to where you could repair when something was broken.
Yeah, I don't mind like when something breaks, it just does like a whole shitload less damage. You can get it, and you can get it repaired. That's fine.
exactly.
But don't like give it a durability system and then never let me repair it, and it just disappears once it breaks.
Now, I'm going to go back to Splatoon 2. I'm probably actually going to pick that up, like the demo, just to play it, just to kind of have, because I didn't play the first one because I didn't own a Wii U. So I'll probably play this one just to kind of, get a feel what it's like. I'm actually more excited about Mario Kart 8 than I am about anything else
I don't know about
at this point right now, because I didn't get to play Mario Kart 8 when it came out on the Wii U. So, and I enjoy those.
It's Mario Kart.
Yeah,
But I mean, that's not a bad thing.
right. And I'm actually excited for Super Mario Odyssey, which I think won't be like Zelda, where it's like completely open. I think it'll be more linear.
Yeah, it looks a little more
in a
linear.
way. So
Yeah, that shit looks like trash, to be perfectly honest, that Odyssey. But whatever. We'll see.
Well, I mean, as far as I never had a Wii U, so I watched people play Splatoon, and I mean, it looks interesting, like kind of like a different type shooter type deal. So if I got the Switch, I would get that. I would get Splatoon 2. But other than that, I mean, it'll be a while before I touch a Switch anyway. And Rand, you got any thoughts of this?
About Zelda or the Switch.
Switch, Splatoon, any of it?
Nah, Nintendo doesn't interest me one bit. None of their games do.
Thank you.
The only game I ever wanted to play on the Wii U was Bayonetta 2, just because I had played Bayonetta 1 on the 360, and I consider that an action masterpiece of the highest order. Nintendo just doesn't. I don't care for any of their franchises. None of them. Maybe it's because even though I started out with my first video game system that I properly remember was the Nintendo, the NES. I mean, I did have like ones before that, but I don't remember.
Right.
I went from Nintendo to Sega. Right after the NES, I went to the Genesis. And then from the Genesis, kept on going, and I eventually went to PlayStation 1, PlayStation 2, then the Xbox. So, like, I didn't have a Super Nintendo. I didn't have an N64. I never was into handhelds, so I didn't have any of their handhelds. So the only Zelda I've ever played was the first one in Wind Waker, because I did have a GameCube when it was $100. So to me, when I look at Zelda, when I look at this new Zelda and everybody's talking about how amazing it is and stuff like that, I look at it the same way someone who might have played the first Halo looks at Halo 5, and that's the only Halo we ever played, with just kind of just apathy, like doesn't do anything for me, So yeah, if Microsoft were to drop out of the business tomorrow and my choices were Sony and Nintendo, I'd choose Sony. Then if Sony dropped out and my choice was Nintendo, I just wouldn't game.
Dang. Wow. Well, I can understand that because, the NES actually had, third-party support. I mean, they haven't had third-party support in forever. I mean, yeah, the Wii U had third-party support, but it was like, did I say the Wii U or did I say Wii? The Wii had third-party support, but it was like, it was really dumbed down third-party support, and it was terrible. Yeah. So, like, that's what I'm saying. The Switch being it's just going to be an exclusive, mobile console. That's what it is. It's definitely a mobile. It's not something you want to put in on your TV because it doesn't look that great. Because I have a 4K TV and it does not look great at all. I just play it mobily. So, I mean, I might get back into Zelda. I might actually have a different opinion about it later on, but, I mean, right now, the Switch is just not doing it.
Yeah, it's fucking garbage. Can we move on?
It'll be something that I'll look at later on. You about to say something else?
I was just going to say, it sounds like we might get a Lucas Ryan here for a second. She really wants this topic to move away from Nintendo. She's about to drop some bombs.
I'm telling you. She's like, just move on.
I don't care. I don't know. I've just never been super into Nintendo. I mean, I'm pretty young. Maybe that's it. I didn't really grow up with it. I'm only 23, but I don't fucking care. I haven't gotten. I have a 3DS, but it's like fucking. I don't even know where it is. I haven't seen it in a while, so I don't know. I don't care about Nintendo.
Yeah, it makes sense because you didn't grow up with it. So, I mean, it definitely makes sense. I mean, even Rand, he grew up with it. So, it's kind of, it's not as surprising, but it's a little surprising that he doesn't like Nintendo. So it's kind of.
It's not that surprising because I skipped basically everything.
Yeah, you did. So
that's my gaming shame, by the way. My gaming shame is the fact that I have never, ever in my entire life played a Super Nintendo game.
Oh, geez.
That's my gaming shame.
I don't blame you there. I mean, that they had some really great games on that system, man.
Hey, but Genesis had Mortal Kombat with blood.
That's true.
Where I was at.
No, I'm right there with you. I was a Genesis kid as much as I was a Super Nintendo kid, but I didn't have it. I didn't own a Super Nintendo. I actually had to go to friends' houses and play on their systems and stuff.
I was fortunate enough to have both.
God, I am so young.
Yeah.
How old are you? How young is young?
I don't know. I'm 23.
She doesn't even know anymore.
23. She doesn't even. I don't know. Whatever. 23.
Well, I don't know how young is young. Is what I'm saying.
Well, I mean, I'm 35, so I'm old, or at least older. I'm probably the oldest person here, aren't I?
I'm right with you. I'm right with you.
35.
Yeah, you guys just have experiences that I do not. And when it comes to gaming.
Then lump me in with them.
Yeah, and not for nothing. I mean, they were good experiences too. Because I remember my first console was the NES, and I remember my pops waking me up in the morning. I didn't think I was going to get it, and all of a sudden there was a TV in the living room with Duck Hunt. We sat there and played Duck Hunt the entire day, the entire Christmas. That's how I was introduced to gaming. You know what I'm saying? So I've been gaming ever since. So.
Yeah, to me, like Nintendo consoles. That console that you bring out at a party and everybody plays like a party game or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, for you, yeah, it was. Because, I mean, you're what, 20-something, 22, 21?
22.
So, yeah, I mean, you didn't grow up with the NES or the Super NES. You had the GameCube and pretty much, Yeah,
it's like that console that you bring out just to play Mario Kart.
All right, we got Project Sonic was revealed. I think it's going to be called Sonic Forces.
Okay, wait. So what's Project Sonic? Is this like a Sonic game, like Sonic the Hedgehog, or is this something else?
Yeah, it's going to be a new Sonic game, just the old school.
A Sonic? We're talking about fucking Sonic on this show. Are you kidding me? Sonic the Hedgehog?
Yeah. Actually,
let's make this topic go fast.
Because at first I thought the same thing. I was like, Sonic, man, Sonic. I'm not trying to hear that. But then I read the article and I actually looked at the gameplay, and it actually looks pretty decent. It actually looks almost Ratchet and Clank type decent. You know what I'm saying? It's not like they're going back and giving us some bullshit. It's like they actually took time within the game to make a decent one. Yeah, I don't know if y'all watched the gameplay, but because I went into it with the same sentiment that Luca has, like, bump Sonic. I left Sonic a long time ago. I'm not trying to hear anything. But then when I saw the gameplay, I was like, oh shit, I might have to look at Sonic now.
I only care if it was a, side scroller. Then I don't care, but.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, it's not a side scroller.
But it does get me intrigued when you said that it was it was more of a Ratchet and Clank esque type of feel.
Right. If you look at it, it looks like they put that type of energy in it. Like they didn't just go back and just rehash something to give you some crap. It's like they actually, they're actually bringing it to today. They're bringing Sonic to 2017.
Freaking noob, dude. Oh my gosh.
Did anybody else see any of the gameplay?
No,
I haven't seen it. I know I'm going to offend somebody in particular saying this, but fuck Sonic. That shit.
Dude, basically. What the fuck?
Dude, now Baines is going to have to write an 18-page letter about...
No, I guess I'll have to be the only one.
Baines is like, I have never been so disrespected in my entire fucking life, Tim. I have never...
Nah, I guess I'll have to be the only one that tries it. Let y'all know how it is. But when I saw it, I thought about. When I saw it, I thought about Ratchet and Clank. I was like, oh, okay, they did just as good a job. It's not gonna be like a Voodoo Vince, like some crap that just
Yeah.
ran bad,
Well,
or
but
some
the problem
Phantom
is
Dust,
that, like,
or something like that. They actually did a good job with this game.
I actually enjoyed playing Ratchet and Clank games when I was younger. I've never enjoyed playing Sonic.
You enjoy playing Sonic 1?
Okay. Yes, I did.
Sonic 1 is the shit. So
Yeah,
Sonic 2.
dude.
I played it all the way up to Sonic and Knuckles. I think that was the
played
last one I
Sonic
played.
2 for the first time this year.
Oh
What
my
about
God.
Sonic Generations? That game was. Actually really like Sonic Generations on the 360.
I actually really liked Sonic Adventures on the Dreamcast.
I think I'm just too young for the whole Sonic thing.
I played Sonic games. They lost me after Sonic was trying to fuck a human, so I don't know what they're doing anymore.
You're not
I
talking
guess-
about those ones they post on Tumblr.
Hey, like I said, I guess I'll be the one to play it and get back to everybody with how Sonic is.
Yeah,
whenever it
man.
come out.
All right, sounds
You'll
good.
definitely have to let us know on that one.
All right, so we're gonna move on from Sonic since nobody want to play with my homeboy. All right.
Well, he wasn't your
He's
homeboy till now, so.
Well, now he was my homeboy. Then I trashed him. You know what I'm saying? I kind of threw him on the bus, and now he's trying to come back correct. So I'm thinking about reaccepting it. So that's how it's going.
Oh my God.
Next on the docket is Injustice 2 and their microtransactions. It's not going to be from what they've been saying. It's not play to win. It's just for like skins and shaders. But you will be able to pay to get, once you level a fighter up to level 20, you will be able to play. You will be able to pay to level other fighters up to 20. So you have to level the first one up by yourself, but then you can go and pay for the others to get leveled up. So what do you guys think about that?
I don't know. I don't like play to win or pay to win or whatever. So, but I wasn't gonna get this game anyway, so I don't really care.
Yeah, I have no problem with it being for like cosmetic things. Like that's a great use for microtransactions. People who want that stuff can get it. People who don't give a fuck about it can just ignore it.
Yeah, we all knew it was going to be in there. I mean, how they sold fatalities for Mortal Kombat 10, like easy fatalities.
Yeah.
But they've gone out of their way to stress this will not give you an advantage in any way, shape, or form. That it's not pay to win. That it's just a way to get more cosmetic stuff, and I think even like level a character from 0 to 20 once you've done 1 to 20.
So you don't think that's pay to win? Like once you've worked to level one character up, now you can buy more characters for at level 20.
Does leveling a character really do anything for you? I'm assuming the entire moveset is unlocked at the start. It's probably I maybe you unlock more clothing stuff. I can't imagine being level 20 actually gives you an advantage in that game. So,
I mean, here's the thing.
Okay.
Do they think they're freaking Destiny or something, or an MMO? Because it doesn't make any sense to me for them to even do that. Because leveling up your character, fighting and stuff like that is not grinding. It's more just fighting and getting better at it. Like with Destiny or MMOs, it's just like it's basically grinding. So they use that system so that you don't have to grind to get other characters to that certain level. So,
I'm not sure how it is in this game, but I'm going to use Killer Instinct as an example. Generally, you'll level with a character, like you level up a character so you can get better with that character. Like you play them all that time, and once you get to those higher levels, it pretty much signifies that you know how to play that character better. If you just buy that, you have no fucking clue how to play that character.
Okay.
Well,
So
plus
was
also
more of a symbol of you playing with the character for a while.
Yeah.
It didn't give you.
Well, yeah. Plus, I think the more you level it, the different color options become available for the different skins and things like that. I'm assuming this is what that is. It's like, hey, you want your Harley Quinn to have more sexy outfits? Well, give us more money right away, or just keep on playing and you'll eventually get them. So
yeah. Oh, you can guarantee those sexy outfits will only be like microtransactions. You can't unlock them.
All right. Well, I guess we'll have to see about that. Next on the docket is System Shock 3. This is now it's as far as System Shock 3, I think it's just going to PC. I guess they may bring it to consoles. I didn't see anything to that said that. I know I did see where they were going to reboot the first System Shock, and bring it to Xbox and PS4. So I guess the others would be coming. Have any of you guys ever played System Shock, or
I've never played one. I've heard about them.
Yeah, me too.
are they pretty good?
It's the same guys. It's the same guys who made the BioShock games. It's kind of like Irrational Games turned into like 2K in a way, and started making BioShock. So I mean it should be a pretty decent game. I mean I've never really played any of the System Shock games, so I wouldn't know, but just basing it off of from what I've seen from BioShock, it should be pretty decent for sure.
The article is saying that the publisher is a Swedish publisher who's involved, and they were also involved in Payday 2, Brothers: A Tale of Two Sons, which I heard Brothers was good.
So it's not by the guys who did BioShock then, huh?
Yeah, and I didn't state that. And then Psychonauts. So I mean I know Payday 2 sucked. I've heard Brothers: Tale of Two Sons was I've heard that was pretty good. I don't know anything about Psychonauts.
Psychonauts is an older game. They're just now like developing a second one, and it was a cult hit. It was like those people who had played it really enjoyed it, but it was one of those games that not many people played.
Yeah, it's kind of a sleeper hit.
Yeah.
What about you, Rand? Have you ever played any System Shock games?
I have never played a System Shock game, but I've been told that BioShock is pretty much System Shock.
Okay.
It's just with a different coat of paint. So I'm interested in trying out System Shock 3 whenever, if it does come to Xbox One. Just to say I did play it though, but no, I've never played. I'm not really much of a PC gamer, even in my youth. Like I only really played like Half-Life on the PC and a couple other games. I didn't really enjoy that experience of playing on PC. That's why I'm a console gamer.
Yeah, I was I guess I was more interested in that the one that's going to be rebooted and put on the consoles, and I think they're saying it's coming in 2018. I'm hoping they do System Shock 1 and 2 and then eventually bring 3. So we'll see. But definitely System Shock, the first one, is supposed to come to consoles. That's supposed to be in 2018. So I guess we'll see what happens with that.
It wouldn't make sense for them to do System Shock 1 on console and then not bring 3 eventually. I mean, it probably won't be right away, but we'll definitely eventually get it.
Right. Okay. All right, for my Overwatch players in the room, who we got?
I play.
I think you play Overwatch, don't you?
Man,
I think it's just me, Tim, and Rand. You play, don't you?
I mean, I haven't played in a while, but I do like me some Overwatch.
Yeah. So they have a new character coming, Orisa. She's supposed to be kind of like the counterpart to Reinhardt, kind of like a crowd controller, someone to kind of like lead the team, kind of like Reinhardt does. Supposed to be essential for the team. Have either of you?
I've seen gameplay. She seems like I think the whole design of her was she's a jack of all trades and a master of none. She has a lot of abilities that are very similar to other characters, but just don't do it as well. Like, just not quite as good.
Okay.
So yeah, and it'll
her ultimate supposed to be like in a damage booster or something like that, right? Okay. Yeah, I've seen a little gameplay, and I thought, okay, well, on March 21st, that's when I'll go back in and play me some more Overwatch and see.
I might play a little bit before Mass Effect comes out.
Yeah.
So like an hour or two.
You guys,
Luca and Optimus, I know y'all don't play.
I don't even know what that shit is.
You guys disappoint me so much.
Hey, Optimus, Overwatch is a great game, man.
It is not.
Game.
It's not a great game, dude.
Stop hating. Yeah,
It's not game of the year, but it is a great multiplayer game.
Right,
Yeah.
right. I wouldn't give it game of the year either, but it is a great multiplayer.
But I'm interested in so why don't you like Overwatch? Why don't you think it's good? I'm interested in hearing the reasons.
It reminds me too much of a MOBA, and I fucking hate MOBAs.
It's
Like,
nothing
I know
like
it's
a
not.
MOBA.
I know it's nothing like it, but it reminds me of it. Like that style of like, you know, catching a point and you know taking it to another point. Like it's just it just I don't like it at all.
But they got sexy waifus in it, yo.
I don't like. I don't like the characters. Each character has like. You know why it reminds me of a MOBA is because like you have to build. You have to build to get your power ups. And like that just bothers me. I can't. I'd rather have them right there as soon as I jump in and play the game. I don't want to just like fucking. Oh, I gotta build my guy up while I'm playing, and then
Wait, have you ever actually played Overwatch?
Yeah, I played Overwatch.
How long?
I mean, unless it's changed, but I remember when I played
like
it wasn't.
saying,
I mean, I only played it in the beta, so I didn't buy the.
Lucas falling asleep over there.
I'm sorry.
Just take a quick nap for a moment, Luca. We'll be back with you soon.
Oh my god!
Like Overwatch is nothing like that. Like you have the ultimate, but that's like saying that, like in Call of Duty, the kill streaks that you don't have all your powers because you can't just instantly use those.
Right. It's about the same thing as kill streaks, actually.
Right, but
Look at it.
I just I don't like the characters in a way. Like maybe it's just the characters. Like
They're too colorful and happy. Is that it, Dark?
No,
Then you should play Reaper.
it's like the only cool one to me, or whatever is Reaper, and I'm just like I don't care for any of the other characters.
Yeah, Adams, you're just weird on this one. Overwatch is a good game.
I
Great
am
art
weird on this
style,
one.
great multiplayer. I mean, it is. It is.
Hey, and look, they're planning on eventually, hopefully, releasing a campaign for it once they've got a certain amount of characters in it.
Well, hopefully that'll turn out better than Battleborn.
Yeah,
as far as the campaign.
Yeah,
maybe
release
that's why I don't.
We'll
like
release the
this.
campaign like 3 years after the game fucking comes out. That's amazing. I can't believe.
You know what? Maybe it's because I didn't like Battleborn, and Battleborn is more MOBA-esque than Overwatch, and they both came out around the same time, and it was just like, more of this shit. Like I just don't even care. I get that it's a huge market. People love that kind of games, but I can't get into it, man.
Well, we'll move on from Overwatch.
Thank God. Anyways.
Now, I guess this is Annapurna. Studio. Annapurna, right?
Yes.
I just bodied that name. Anyway, any studio. They showed big at PAX. I really wasn't familiar with a lot of their games. The Unfinished Swan was one of them. Supposed to be one of the better ones. So I'll let you guys take it from there. Tell me about this studio. I know they used to be in film, and then
they are in film still.
Yeah, they are. And so
Yes.
this is just a part of them that's now doing indie games.
Yes. Well, here's the thing: they're moving towards the indie game market because I mean they had the Unfinished Swan, like you said. They had a couple other games. I can't remember what they are, but they want to move more towards doing these games plus making the films to kind of. I think it's a good thing because they're trying to tap into the gaming market, and then maybe they can understand what's going on there, and then they can pick up some of these bigger like title games and turn them into movies and make them great.
Right. So I just looked at the article because I hadn't looked at it yet, but I know a hell of a lot more about this than I thought I did. The game that they're showing, they showed at PAX East, is The Artful Escape of Francis Vendetti. My basically teacher that like taught me how to make games at college is one of the like developers on this game.
Okay.
And so I've seen some like stuff from it from like earlier like art and stuff, and it looks like a really cool game. Like it's super colorful and like it just looks insane. And I'm pretty sure it's got a pretty good soundtrack too. As far as I know, it's only coming to PC at the moment because it was a Steam Greenlight game. But
so yeah, any of their games getting console releases or?
Not that I know of. I could ask the dev.
I think Unfinished Swan was PS4.
Yeah, I played that on PS4.
Yeah,
because it was free at one point.
Okay.
Indie games are taking over, man. Indie games are taking over. I don't know if you guys saw. They had Chris Charla. He not only was he on TXR podcast, shameless plug, but he also was on Major Nelson's podcast with Phil. And they talk how they have 1,000 ID at Xbox games in development through the program, and how they just reached a milestone of 1 billion hours played just with ID at Xbox titles.
Yeah, I heard y'all mention that on TXR. Okay.
And Phil was stunned. Like Phil was stunned. You go back and listen to it. Like he was stunned. But yeah, like indie games are coming into their own. Like now, you will get games like Verdun, which are bad. Of course, because not every game is good. AAA games, AA games, there's going to be good games, there's going to be bad games. But there are some gems out there. There are some really cool games, like That's Squared, Inside, Hyper Light Drifter. I mean,
Hold up, Rand. We got to introduce this correctly. We're going to take a break from our regularly scheduled program to give you a snippet of Rand's indie session. Keep going. Keep going, Rand.
I mean, there are a great many titles on the Xbox One and PlayStation and Steam that are tremendous, even better than AAA games. Inside was my #1 game last year. I had it ranked higher than Forza Horizon 3. And I know chat will probably kill me for that, and I've gotten killed all year for that, but that game was amazing to me in almost every single possible way. My 2 favorite games this gen, The Inside and Ori and the Blind Forest. Those 2 games are better than any AAA game I played this gen. Now, I don't know if this says more about the quality of indie games or more about how AAA games this gen have maybe not been as good as previous ones. But it's amazing how indie games have basically come into their own. And you have 5 to 6 releases a week on the Xbox Store, on PlayStation, Steam. Granted, some of them aren't going to be very good, but you'll get those that you get the like one that it's just like amazing and that is worth the investment and playing it. I just wish more people.
I'll give you Inside, and I'll definitely give you Ori. But it's just kind of sometimes it's kind of hard to dig through the minutia of what they put out. They put out so many.
Well, yeah, that's the thing. Like, yeah, that's why I started doing Rand's Indie Spotlight, was because I do play a lot of those games, and I thought maybe I could make a video talking about if this game was worth picking up.
Right.
And people seem to like the series, and I'm going to continue to do it. But yeah, it's like I said, you'll get your shit like Verdun. You'll get your shit like Soda Drinker Pro and games like that that have no business being on the service. But then it's all worth it when you find a game like Death Squared, when you find a game like supposedly like Snake Pass, which everybody's just like saying is amazing, which comes out in a couple weeks, or you play Inside or Hyper Light Drifter. Playing through all those. Typo Man, I liked it quite a bit. Maybe not everybody's cup of tea, but it's kind of like Inside or Toby or Limbo, but like with this word variant where you spell words out because you are you're a dude made of words and you spell things out. Like if you got to raise a platform and if you put O and next to an N, it'll power it on. It's really interesting game.
Oh man, sounds like fun.
Yeah, I
Is
mean,
that
if it's like Inside, then
I'm just messing with you, dude. No, I actually,
No.
I agree with you on Inside. That was a great game, man. I haven't played
yeah.
Ori yet, but I'm definitely, now that I hear so many people saying it's so good, I'm probably gonna have to pick that up eventually.
What about the other
Because-
one they were hyping up, Candleman? What about that one?
Candleman is really good. It's the first game from the Chinese ID at Xbox. Basically, play as a candle, and you go through these small, kind of bite-sized levels, lighting candles along the way to get to the end. I thought it was really charming. I thought it looked great. I thought it was a really competent, like 3D platforming game.
Mm-hmm.
I've really enjoyed it. See, that's the moments I'm getting, like when you weed through the chaff, when you play these shitty games, but then you come to a game that really kind of takes you by surprise.
Right.
Like this is why, this is what gaming's all about. Because a lot of innovation comes from indie games because the AAA games are so expensive. They can't really take risks anymore. They're just play it by the numbers. Like Ghost Recon Wildlands is a game by the numbers. You know.
Right.
So it's interesting when you get games that kind of do something differently in the indie space. So
Yeah, I'm pretty excited for Little Nightmares. I think, seeing that, I keep seeing more and more about that. And I'm all like, ooh, I kind of want to play that. And I'm not an indie guy whatsoever, but I definitely want to play that. I could see, where you get a lot of the trash and, the gems, outshine the trash. So that's why I usually wait until I hear something from somebody like you, Ran, or GKB.
Yeah.
Shout out to GKB out there. And I hear something from you guys, and I'm just like, oh, okay, I'm gonna definitely try to pick that up and play it, since it's definitely what $20 or less usually half the time.
yeah, you can usually find it on sale and stuff, but don't spoil yourself on the game.
Yeah, I ran through a pretty decent. I mean, some pretty decent ones like Inside. I enjoyed Limbo. Abzu. I enjoyed that one. Uh, so I mean, you can find.
Oh,
Baines?
did we
Had
did we
our
lose
little.
Baines?
Oh, did we lose you, bro?
Yeah, can y'all hear me?
Yeah, you're good.
Yeah, man.
Okay. Anyway, that's why you need to go. You need to know who to go to, and we got one of the guys, the top guys for the indies right here. Rand's
Yeah.
indie session. Y'all just heard it right here on the Quest podcast.
Definitely.
All right, let's move along.
I think I don't think without a lot of the what reviews that Rand has done, or any of the other people in this community have done, like I don't think I would have picked up a lot of these indie games like I have in the past. So it's good thing going.
Exclusive for the Quest podcast, or some type of exclusive. All right, let's move on. Outlast 2. I guess it's got we know it's got a lot of violence in there. And it's got some sexual, type violent scenes or something, and it's being banned, I guess, from Australia. You guys want to talk more about that?
Yeah, no,
Yeah, I have
could talk about this.
Yeah, can I ask a question? Was the first Outlast banned, Tim?
no, it wasn't. No, they didn't have anything.
How about
like
the
that.
DLC?
I don't think so.
All right, because the DLC, the whistleblower one, it had a part where the dude's dick was gonna get like chopped up because like the killer wanted to make him like his wife basically, so he was just gonna like cut a hole there. Spoilers for Outlast whistleblower. So I'm like kind of confused because I went to the article, I read through the article about the sexual violence, and I was like, huh, that's pretty fucked up. But like it's no worse, well actually, it might be worse than the DLC. I might, yeah, I don't know. Did you guys read what the sexual violence was?
Yeah. So I was wondering like what's going on? Are they just why now?
It's Australia. They don't like rewarding drug use in games and sexual violence, and this seems to be a bit of both. So it's no surprises here that it's been banned. Like, okay. I'm fairly sure that what it is a drug-induced rape orgy is happening in the game with possible decapitation, I think.
What?
I
Who's
think
playing
but the
these
thing
games?
is, it's like because it's like basically a bunch of monsters having an orgy, right? And then dude's wife is like strung up on a cross because they're using her as a sacrifice, and then the main guy gets like sexually assaulted by some female monster. I think that's like the gist of it.
Yeah.
It sounds like a freaking weird game to me. I never played Outlast or anything like that. That just sounds absolutely.
Outlast is pretty fucking good, dude. I gotta admit, like I didn't play that shit, but I watched someone play it.
Yeah,
It's really freaky. It's really freaky. I like it. I like the story. I think typical dumbass goes to an abandoned building, but I really like the story. I think it's very, very interesting. The DLC was really great from what I watched as well. People like Sirius's fucked up ass would love it. So it sucks that.
Yeah, but he lives in
Shout out to
Australia, so he
Sirius.
can't play it. So
Yeah,
Dude,
it should also
Outlast-
be noted that the demo for Outlast 2 was not banned. It did receive a rating.
Outlast is awesome. The first game is amazing. It's one of the best indie games on the Xbox One. I cannot wait for Outlast 2, and the orgy scene sounds awesome, so I can't wait for that either.
you're a sick man, Rand.
It's
Yeah, I'll
video
probably
games.
buy it.
I didn't play Outlast. I mean, you don't have any guns or anything like that, and it's not like a
No.
Resident Evil, is it? Like you're just
No,
running
no,
the
it's
entire
not.
time, right?
You're just fucking running, basically,
Yeah, see,
running
I
and
don't like-
hiding.
I don't like stuff like that. I want to have some type of way to defend myself.
Yeah, I didn't
Instead of
like
just running.
Alien Isolation either, and that was like that.
Well, I mean, in Alien Isolation, you do get weapons later on.
No, I didn't get that.
yeah,
far,
I've actually
so-
watched that being played, and you do.
I
get weapons.
actually thought getting the weapons in Alien Isolation actually ruined the game, because
Yeah,
once you
that's
got the
what I heard.
flamethrower, like you could always just shoo the alien away, and it kind of ruined like the tense atmosphere they were going for.
Mhm.
But yeah,
Yeah, I'm glad
Outlast.
I didn't throw in that until the very end.
I mean, the setup for Outlast is simple. I mean, you're a news journalist. You go into an asylum, and like crazy shit's happening, and it doesn't make sense that you could attack any of these dudes with any sort of like weapons in there. So you're just trying to escape, whether it's by hiding in lockers or under beds or just straight up running past people. That's just what you got to do in that game.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I mean, I'm excited for Outlast 2. I'm excited to watch someone play it because I'm not playing that shit. It's too scary for me. And it's just kind of like, there's been other scenes of disturbing sexual violence in other games, like what fucking game? There was some game where like some dude, it was just like a small little scene, and you were going through the game, and you like walk past some guy like jerking off over some dead bodies, and then there was
Mhm.
like Silent Hill where Pyramid Head is raping whatever those fucking mannequins are called. So there's been sexual violence in other games, and then there's movies like The Hills Have Eyes. Like, not that I watched that shit,
True.
Yeah.
but it's like video games have a different standard to them,
Yeah.
and I don't really understand why. Maybe because it's more interactive.
Yeah,
Probably
it's-
so.
this is also the same reason that South Park was censored. The Stick of Truth is censored in Australia.
Oh yeah, that's right. now, now I remember why it was.
Now,
Yeah,
once they
Central Fall
censor
also
this,
done that
yeah.
too. They had to remove a weapon which I believe you shoved up people's asses and launched them into the sky.
What? What weapon
I've
was
never-
that? I missed it.
I think it was like a special edition DLC one, but because
okay,
it was
I
in
didn't
the
get that
game,
yet.
they had to like release a different version of it for Australia.
and once they censor this, it'll be good to go in Australia, though, right?
If they
Have to take
censor it.
Okay, if they censor it. Okay.
Yo, they'd have to
Yeah,
take out that
apparently-
entire more than half.
Apparently, it's also not the
Hmm.
only thing in the game that has
It's
caused
it,
it to
yeah.
be
Okay. Well, that
classification.
market may not be worth it for them then.
Yeah, it's the game. there's some really fucked up stuff in that game, and I like it. Like I like it. I think it's really interesting, but I can understand why they would ban it because Australia fucking bans anything. So
Yeah. We originally banned Fallout 3.
I mean, who
Dang.
wants to live in Australia, right?
Yeah,
basically,
they live upside down anyway, so.
I mean, you
Like,
got
if
shit
it-
there. You got like animals and bugs that'll kill you.
Yeah.
Spiders as big as
Yeah.
dogs. Like, get the heck out.
All right.
Yeah. If people want it here, they'll find a way to get it.
Yeah, you're right. That always happens. But we're gonna go ahead and move into the big topic for tonight, and that is Mass Effect. I know we've all played
can I go
it.
first?
Of course, I know we've all played it, and Luca, you can go ahead and see what you got for it.
All right. My Xbox uninstalled my fucking game 2 nights ago, so I was having like a
God
dramatic moment then. But I played it last night. I don't know how I feel about it. I think people are being way too hard on it. But I don't know how I feel about it. I've only played it for like an hour. I went to go first because I feel like I have the least. I mean, I feel like it's going to be a good game. I just have to play it some more.
Right. I actually really like the game so far. I mean, I do see a lot of people who are having too many gripes about it. I mean, it is what it is. It doesn't bother me. The one thing that bothers me, and I've been having a problem with it since I installed the trial, is the visuals are very blurry on my 4K TV and on my Xbox One S, and I don't know why. I don't know why it's so blurry. But when
I thought you said you fixed it.
I thought I did, and then like all of a sudden, like I get to a certain area and it's just blurry again, and I'm just like, I don't want to have to keep continuing to adjust things just to try to play this game, because blurry visuals for me is just I can't do it. It
Is it
bothers me so much.
Just things in like the background that are blurry, or things in the foreground too?
Well, it's things in the foreground too. It's all it's background,
I've
and then it goes to the
definitely not-
foreground, and then it's so, at times it's so bad that it just bothers me, and that's that's why I'm thinking either picking it up on PC, because I've seen a lot of people play it on PC and they haven't had those kind of issues with blurry visuals, or picking it up on PlayStation on the Pro, because I cannot do this blurry visual crap.
Yeah, I haven't
continuously
really,
to try to change
like,
it.
even when like I was playing it at the same time as you were, and you were talking me through all that, I didn't notice it at all.
Yeah, maybe it's something, because I mean I have a Samsung KS 8000, and it just I don't know what's going on with it, but it's just not. Maybe it's my Xbox. I mean, I've been playing Horizon Zero Dawn and had no problems. So I mean, I don't know.
Dark, how much money do you make? Let's talk about this off air.
I'm not gonna
Just kidding.
divulge that information. You're crazy.
Just kidding, dude.
I know.
Just kidding.
Yeah, I played it. It has a very Mass Effect 1 type feel to it, and
Yeah.
by saying it, I'm like it's starting off slow, but I can see it where it's going, because I kind of, and I don't have this type of this 5-year gap from like everybody else, how everybody else played. Like I just went through all the Mass Effects. I had to start Mass Effect 1 twice, because the first time I was like, I do not want to play this. And then the second time I started it, the second time I started it, I said I'm gonna have a little bit more patience. And it's something about it's somewhere in between that fifth to 8th hour is what I always say. And I think the story was already getting compelling to me. But it was when I think I put someone into one of those singularity holes, and they were floating or something right there, and then I came right behind and hit them down with some type of other body, and I said, "Oh, I'm sold." It sold me right then, and so that was enough to, keep, because the gameplay of Mass Effect 1 was like really shitty.
Garbage.
Yeah,
I can never
but
fucking go back to that game. I've tried. I've
was
tried to go back. I'm like, I can't do this.
it was just decent enough, to keep me going with a story that was really good. So this kind of feels like that minus the gameplay. Like the story is really good. It's just taking a long time to build up. Now all these other little problems that people are having, it's a big game. There's games that come out with problems. As long as they're not game breaking to me,
Bethesda.
it's not. Yeah, as long as it's not game breaking to me, and the story is still there, and the gameplay is good, I'm fine. I don't really sit there and pick out this other stuff. I see it and it's funny, but when I'm playing, I'm not really. That doesn't detract that much from me.
Yeah, actually, Tim actually got mad at me because I was laughing so hard at the character when she was like when she wakes up, her eyes are like all bug-eyed and shit. He laughed so hard, and Tim was just like,
That's
"Damn it, Animus."
that's got to be like something that's generated on the fly. Those cutscenes, because I didn't notice it. It didn't happen to me at all.
Yeah, I think
I
it
had,
only
like-
happens on certain times.
Yeah,
Because I restarted the game and it didn't do it that time, so it was just like maybe it's just a glitch that happens once in a while to certain people.
like I've seen videos of people like complaining about the facial animations and that, and like to me, like on mine, they looked way better than what they were showing on those videos. Like they were a little
Yeah,
stiff, but they
you can tell
weren't
that they're
that
still,
bad.
but it's not. Yeah, they're not bad. They're not that bad. They're not going to take you out of the story. They're not going to take you away
People
from the
seem to
gameplay.
forget, like the other Mass Effects didn't have that great facial animations at all either.
Certainly
Like
did.
Exactly.
like Mass Effect 3, there were points where the faces was just like bug out. The eyes would like pop out of the head for like a split second.
And they always start looking down when they talk. This was all in the other Mass Effects. Some of these things were in the other ones. So, I don't know. I guess since I just went through all three of them, so it's not bugging me out as much as I guess anybody else who's 5 or 6 years removed from the third game. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I'm not in that position. I just in January finished the third game. So,
Mhm.
Yeah,
I think.
Go ahead. No.
I think that people are just being way too hard on it, and I get it. People, they've been waiting for so long, and after the ending of Mass Effect 3 pissed off all those gamers. I think a lot of people just had really high expectations, and they were expecting Andromeda to be perfect. And it's just like any other game. It has issues. I think people are just being way too hard on it because it's BioWare, and they've been waiting for so long.
Yeah.
And Mass Effect is such a huge series. From what I've played, it feels like Mass Effect. It feels very Mass Effect. So
Yeah, people
and-
just expected it to improve too much.
exactly. Oh, and the one thing I don't like, that fucking character creation fucking sucks. Okay.
Yeah,
I don't
that was fucking
it's
terrible.
not that good.
Like, I don't understand why it sucks so much. Inquisition's character creation was really good. So I'm just kind of sitting there like, what the fuck is this, BioWare? Like, people complain about this shit all the time. You can't fix your goddamn character creation? Okay, I'm done.
Yeah, like somehow the default faces they had were worse than Ghost Recon Wildlands. Like, how is that even possible?
Yeah, they were even worse than the Division. That's like, how is that even possible? It just, I think it's a lot of people are just coming off of games like Horizon Zero Dawn or Uncharted or Gears of War, and they're like, man, these visuals are great, man. I love this. This game just looks amazing, and Mass Effect, the visuals of the character models are not great, but the worlds are freaking fantastic. Like,
yeah.
The non-human character models are amazing too.
yes,
Yeah.
It's a problem that's limited to the human character models.
yes,
Like I don't know how far you guys are in the trial, but at one point you encounter PB, who is an Asari character, and
Mhm.
her character model is gorgeous. Like it's
it
like,
is.
amazing.
Yeah, I was thinking.
It's like two completely different games. Like you look at the human character model, and then you look at hers, and it's like,
Also, I got one more thing to say. Okay, my writers, my twins, are white, yet their dad is black. Someone explain to me how the fuck that happened.
That happened to me. That happened to me too, and I was all like, "What the fuck?"
I was like, oh, okay. Like, I
Yeah, that
don't
attention to
understand.
detail
No,
right there.
it just knows, Luca. It knows.
Just knows.
So, Rand, what
How do you
saying,
explain
man?
it for me then, Tim?
I know you're like Spanish or something.
Yeah, Spanish. I'm not freaking like.
Oh my god.
That's close enough.
No, it's not.
What you got
Well,
on Mass Effect, Rand?
Okay, so I love Mass Effect, the Mass Effect series, right? Like I love Mass Effect 1, 2, and 3. But I decided when I was doing this early access that I wasn't going to play the single player. I didn't want to like start and then have to stop and then have to wait a few days to pick it up again on Tuesday. So I didn't start the campaign. I'm holding off till Tuesday. So I did play the multiplayer, the co-op
Okay.
horde mode. And I like the movement in the game. I like the jump, how you thrust up in the air, and I like that dash move with B. And it is fun to play. I will say that we played for 3 hours. We had a good time. The problem is the servers suck. EA servers
Okay.
suck.
Yeah,
So
it's just EA.
Yeah, so it has lag issues sometimes, which can cause frame rate problems. But from what I've played of it, like the combat seems pretty solid. The powers are interesting. I like the movement system they've introduced. So I've enjoyed the multiplayer. Can't speak on the single player because that's just for me and my lonesome on Tuesday.
Yeah.
Oh my god, I'm so excited. Like, I keep saying this, but I legit took days off work to fucking play this game. So
Yeah, I'm just gonna start it over either way because I just been kind of like running through it, but I'm gonna take my time and start up when it comes
Yeah.
out. I'm just gonna start over.
Well, you're gonna get on the PlayStation, right? I mean, you're gonna go that route.
I have
so.
it. I have it on both.
Oh, okay. Okay. Well, I'm still contemplating because I know I'm getting that EA Access deal, with the Xbox, and it's just like it makes me sad because like I really want to enjoy this game and I think it's good so far. Like I love it. Like I mean, I wouldn't say I love it, but I really like it so far and I really am engaged in it because it reminds me of the first one. It brings me back to when I was playing the first one for the first time and being like, oh my gosh, I love this game. So it bothers me really bad that I can't fix this freaking blur, man. This freaking blur is pissing me off. It is annoying, man. But hopefully I can get it fixed. Hopefully I can do something to help it so that it's better.
Yeah, if you get it on the PlayStation, because you've got the Pro, I won't blame you.
Right. Exactly.
I'll just be a little salty.
Yeah, I mean, I'm even a little salty that I can't get on the Xbox, and because of that, and it's just like, it does not make me happy at all. It's for sure.
Yeah, I'm really enjoying like the movement system in this game is amazing. The only problem I have with it is there's no crouch button. I want to be able to crouch, like even if it does nothing, I want to be able to do it.
And the thing, I'm starting to get used to it now, but the automatic cover, I don't like that. I want to.
I don't like that
myself
either.
in the cover. I want to put myself in the cover and take myself out of it. Because it sometimes you'll get this, you'll get the areas you may not be trying to get in the cover, and you do, or you may not be trying to get out of cover, but they'll pull you out. So I don't.
Yeah, it makes
I don't
sense.
like that.
I like the cover system. I like it because it doesn't feel like you're glued to cover. Like in the original trilogy, I felt like I was too glued to.
That is a problem sometimes. Is that you're trying to get out of cover, and it's like combat's all frantic. You're trying to get out of cover, and you're just stuck there.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I also don't like it's like what you can't pick up ammo. I was like trying to fucking figure out what the hell was going
I don't
on.
like that either.
I really don't like that.
You have to go to the box and it automatically gives you ammo. I think that's
Yeah. Because I was like, why can't I pick this up? And I was just pressing random buttons. And I was like, okay, let me just shoot a couple times and then watch the screen. I was like, oh, okay, so it just automatically refills. Well, that's not annoying at all.
Yeah. So it's just
But
little
other
things.
than that negativity, it's great. You know, people need to calm the fuck down. Wait for the full release.
Does anybody know how long the game is going to be?
Hopefully long.
Yeah.
The other Mass Effect games, I've beaten all of them in like 35 hours. I hope it's more than that.
Too.
I think it will be. I mean, it seems like it's has more of a direction towards like the Dragon Age Inquisition route, where that game was like 100 and something hours.
Yo,
so
that game's fucking awesome. I played that shit 3 times.
I know. I'm down with you.
I just started it.
That game.
Like, I'm struggling to get hooked into it.
Really?
Yeah,
Did
I
you play the
started
other
that
Dragon game?
twice and couldn't get it.
I played Dragon Age 2. Never played Origins.
Oh, see, that's why you played the trash one. No,
Dragon Age
I
Origins
like
is trash. Dragon Age Origins is trash, and Dragon Age 2 is amazing. So fuck you.
Well, no,
saying.
Dragon Age Origins was trash on the 360 and on the PS3. On the PC, it was amazing.
Okay, get your fucking PC talk out of here. We're console gamers, okay?
I mean, I do own Origins on the PC. Never played it, though.
You should try it out on the PC. It's
Well, I've got a Mac
pretty
at the
good.
moment, so that's like impossible.
Oh, well then.
Fuck's that. I would have to say that Origins, the only thing I really like is that there's more backstories and characters that you can choose from.
Yeah.
Tabaris was my favorite backstory. That shit was fucked up. I really like her backstory. But overall, that game was boring as fuck. I was like, I can't do this. I think I played it too late because I played Inquisition first, and then I went back and I played.
Okay.
Yeah. I went back. I played Origins. And I played Dragon Age 2. I love Dragon Age 2. Dragon Age 2 is like my second favorite game of all time, right after Mass Effect 2. So when people like there's a lot of issues with Dragon Age 2. Like, there's a lot. I can see the issues, but the story and the characters, A+. It was just so tragic. This shit was fucked up.
All right. Dragon Age Inquisition. Which class did you guys play as? Maybe that's something like I'm not into
Played
it
as
because
an
I'm playing the
elven
wrong
rogue.
card.
Well, the first time I played through, I played as a human warrior, right? And then my second time, I played as a human mage, and then my third time, I played as an elven mage. Hold on, let me see how many times.
I am playing as an elven mage at the moment.
It really does like there's different dialogue. People like say different things to you based on your race, and I didn't know because I played it as a human, and I went back and I played as like a human mage, and I got a couple comments because I was a mage, but like a mage elf, people said some fucked up stuff, and I was like, oh, this is actually
the first time.
Really, it's like really interesting. That game's great, but back to Mass Effect.
Yeah, it's Mass Effect. Like, I'm not sure if this was like a scripted thing that I found or not, but like the exploration seems really cool. There's one point in the first mission where I think I stumbled across a cave. It may have been that I was supposed to go there anyway, but like I found a cave with like natural life in it that had been like protected from the storm.
Oh, okay.
And that was a really cool thing that I found. And like, I don't know if you guys found that too, but like after finding that, it was like brought up in conversations and stuff.
And that's one other thing too is some of the banter that they have while you're just going through. Sometimes it can get lost if you go too far away from a teammate. I wish they could fix that some type of way.
You can hold
that was also
on the D-pad and they regroup to you, I think.
Okay. That was also like that happened in Uncharted 4 too. Like if you would go so far away from, I think it was Sam, then you would lose, or his brother, you would lose some of the banter that they would have going back and forth. When they're just moving through through the stage.
Like that stuff would like later on when I went back to I'm not sure what the main like space station is called there, but like when I went back there, it was brought up in conversation too.
Okay. Yeah, it seems like it's gonna be a really good game, man. I'm looking forward to it. 21st. And if nobody has anything else, that's our show for tonight. We enjoyed having Rand. We really appreciate you coming through, man.
Thanks for having me.
Yep, no problem. We'd love to have you come again sometime. We're gonna get to these outros. Rand, why don't you throw yours first?
Yeah, thanks for having me on. Really enjoyed talking to you guys and listening to Luca's rants. They're very, very interesting. You can find me at my Twitter, which is I think linked in the description because I was looking earlier. But I also am the host of TXR Podcast and my own YouTube channel, which is youtube.com/Rand Al Thor 19. So check it out if you haven't. And yeah, it was fun, guys. I really appreciate it.
Yeah,
it
we
was great
appreciate you,
having you
man.
Yeah,
Yep.
it was great having you. I remember I first heard you on let's see here. I think it was Xbox Nation, like a really long time ago. And you were going back and forth with everyone, and they were saying stuff, and you didn't agree with them, but you were like really level-headed, and you stuck to your guns. And I was like, oh, that guy seems pretty fucking cool. Like I really admire people who don't just bend to how everyone else is feeling.
Right.
Yeah.
You stuck to your guns and you put them in their place. It was great.
I mean, my opinions are always my own. I'm never going to be bullied or peer pressured into, conforming to other people's views. But that's why a lot of people think I'm an undercover pony. Because I don't always say good stuff about Microsoft.
Right.
That's always funny. to
Even
me
though
when
you're
you
the
do
man
that.
with a million.
Yeah, that's dedication.
Yeah, I'm telling you. That's crazy. All right, Artemis, give us your outro.
Yeah, you guys can find me on Twitter at Dark Optimus. Also, hit me up on Xbox Live at the same name. Rand, it was really great having you on, man. Appreciate you coming by. Yeah, just hit me up on those two platforms, and it was a great show tonight.
Tim.
You can find me here every week, as usual. Find me on Twitter at Tumidos, and on Xbox at Tumidos with a space, but Twitter's like all one word. I guess you can find me on PSN too if I'm ever there. Yeah, it was great having Rand on, and hopefully we can have him back sometime.
Yep. Luca.
Hey, you guys can catch me on Twitter at the Ashen Luca. Catch me starting fights with people, ending fights with people, losing friends over this goddamn console war. People are gonna start calling me a fucking pony at this point. I don't care. But yeah, catch me on Twitter and then also on Xbox Live at the Ashen Luca. I don't know what the fuck I've been doing the past few weeks, but I have not been on my Xbox. So, but when I am on, you can just hop in a party with me. I'm usually with like Dark and Tim and Remix's bitch ass. So.
Oh shoot.
Yep. And it's me, M Bangs 99. I was your host for the night. M Bangs 99 on PlayStation and Xbox. Other than that, don't worry about it. Just play your games. I want to give a shout out to Remix. Any of y'all know Remix information by heart, or where you
Yeah,
can
You
find
can
him
find
at?
him on Twitter at Remix Essence. At Xbox, same thing.
Yeah.
You can find him here most weeks when he's not doing whatever the fuck he's doing this week.
Yeah, shouts out to him.
And his YouTube channel too.
Yeah. Okay. So shouts out to our brother Remix. Hopefully he'll be back next week. If everything's ironed out. We missed you, man.
I missed you, Remix. My little brother from another mother.
Other than that, we out, y'all. Take it easy.
All right,
We'll see you
bye.
next Friday.
Bye, everybody.